Good morning. Here we are with another edition of Good Morning Glendale, and I have another honor and privilege of sitting down with Patrick Fitzhugh from USAA. Many of you may not realize the impact that USAA not only has around our nation for our veterans and active military, but right here in our metro area. So today we're going to hear a little bit from Patrick and tell us all that's going on. Now, Patrick, my friend, you've been at USAA for, correct me if I'm wrong, about 10 years or more now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming up on 10 years in March.
Amazing. Well, happy pre-anniversary. It's a little ahead of time, but I'm sure this year has made it seem like you've been there 10 years just in this year alone. So, Patrick, for those who may not know who you are, start off with telling us a little bit about who you are as a person and what your role is with USAA.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you, Robert, and the Glendale Chamber of Commerce for having me on here. It's an absolute honor. I'm a Phoenix native. I grew up in West Phoenix off of 35th and Bethany. And after high school, went to the military, served in the Air Force. And, the more I traveled, the more I realized that Arizona is really just a great place. So my wife and I came back here. And shortly after that, I found myself here at USAA. I've been a member a lot longer than I have an employee. And, my role here is the regional site director. I really represent our San Antonio and our national presence here in the Phoenix Valley. So I wear a lot of different hats, everything from our nonprofit support to local marketing, local relationships, and just making sure that our employees here, all 5,000 of them in the Phoenix, greater Phoenix area, are taken care of. And we have a lot of presence in Glendale. A lot of our employees live in Glendale. And of course, with Luke Air Force Base right there, it's really a great place for us to be engaged and supportive. So yeah, it's a little bit about me and what I do. It really just depends on the day, Robert.
Well, we know that. We know you're a busy guy. And you gave the number, so it's about 5,000 employees. And I know it's always growing. It's probably transitioned and pivoted just a little bit with COVID. Mm-hmm. But within the facility here, which is amazing, it's a compound within itself to come to your place up off the 17. But what are the types of services that are provided here in our market? Because you talked about the number of employees and things like that. What are those folks doing each and every day?
So that's a great question. We've been in the Phoenix Valley since 2002, 2003 timeframe is when we moved here, and the office just continues to change and evolve. What I'd say is with COVID-19, we have had a rapid expansion of our remote work at home presence. So it's really shifted the landscape of talent and what we do here. A lot of jobs that used to exist just in our home office in San Antonio are moving to Phoenix. So there's really nothing that our organization does that isn't represented here in our Phoenix campus. So it might be everything from property and casualty insurance, life insurance, banking, mortgage, but we also have a large IT presence. So we have about 600 to 700 developers who are creating the apps and doing all the work behind the scenes. And you tie to IT a lot of different things in risk and analytics. So the work continues to evolve. The type of employee and who we're seeking continues to evolve. So there's really not a whole lot that we're not doing here in Phoenix.
I think it's amazing. And, you're an Air Force veteran. I'm an Air Force veteran. When you come to your facility, it feels like its own city almost. I mean, you have services there for the employees. However, with COVID, you've shifted, and I think your company's done remarkably well. How did you transition, I think, almost all of your employees to an at-home work when you still have to deliver a high level of service, whether it's for banking, insurance, or whatever it is? How have you as a company done that?
I'll tell you, Robert, USAA, what I've seen over the last 10 years is we continue to thrive and challenge. So when there's a challenge in front of us, you just have to look at our mission. So the people we're serving and our military members and their families and taking care of them is our top priority. I think that's what really creates that rallying effort as an organization and everyone working together. I'm very proud of us. Back in February, we sent nearly all of our employees to work at home environment in under a week. So we're talking, between 3 to 5 days. We had a drive-through style, pickup where people are pulling up, we're handing them equipment, scanning, and there's a lot of hard hours, a lot of being agile, but I really think that embodies the military. And that's the nice thing about having a significant military population working for USAA is we know how to take something like that and develop the tactics and how we're going to get stuff done. So it's really just that military ethos and that mission first focus that allowed us to get everybody working at home.
Well, I think it's pretty remarkable. And I know early on in the pandemic, you and I had spoke a couple of times when you were transitioning everyone. So, and I think that militant style certainly has played to your advantage as an organization, and the folks kind of fall in line and they kind of know what's going on. So that's pretty remarkable. One thing that you all had shared out recently is over the next 3 years, a pledge of committing $50 million towards racial equality. Tell us, what's that about? I mean, that's a huge commitment, $50 million over the next 3 years. I'm just absolutely amazed. So where does that come from? What does that mean to USAA?
So if you look at the why and who we're taking care of as an organization, the military population has continued to change. In a lot of ways, it really has led a lot of diversity in the military. And now they're doing some task force planning, and USAA is part of that around the diversity piece. But at the end of the day, the people who make up our military are, the people who look like you and me and a lot of other people, right?
You're
So
right.
we want to make sure that those who serve the military all have the same opportunities and the same resources in and outside of the military. So really it aligns with our mission because it's who we're taking care of. They deserve that same level of respect and opportunity. So I don't really think it falls within line of our mission. When people ask me the why, it's very simple for us. The people who are going to be impacted by those grants and that support, those are the people who also serve within our military, and they reserve that level of support and respect.
Well, it's no surprise that you all continue to set the bar for other corporations and companies to follow. You raise it each and every time with all you do. So we wouldn't expect anything different. Another part that I think some people may know is, I know a big passion for you is not only the active duty and veterans, but also the spouses and the partners and the family members who are impacted. I know when we've spoken, that matters to you all. It's at the core of what you do. Can you share with folks why that's important as well? Because I think they sometimes get forgotten about. They're just kind of the byproduct that goes along with completing the mission for the military. But without their support, we really would be in big trouble to not have that. So you want to touch on that maybe just for a moment or two?
Yeah, happy to, Robert. At the foundation of every military family is that military spouse, man or woman. And while the service members making significant sacrifices in going forward deployed locations and facing just, crazy, dangerous situations to protect us and the freedoms that we enjoy here, the military spouse is the one who's holding it together at home, right? They are picking up and relocating every 2 years, having to find out what the new normal is in the state or the country that they're located in. So we understand the importance of keeping the military spouse supported. We've actually partnered with Hiring Our Heroes under the United States Commerce, and through that we've been able to hire over 250 military spouses just in the last year as an organization, over 2,000 through the relationship with Hiring Our Heroes. So we understand that it's pivotal to support them because they are very often they handle all the finances when the military members deployed. They handle absolutely everything. So if we can support the military spouse, we know that the military member serving can focus on their job and on their duty, and that their finances are all going to be taken care of while they're gone.
Well, I think it's another kind of really gets at the crust of who you all are at USAA, because it's not just the active duty personnel, but also the family members. And they're just as impacted. They may not be on the front lines of the mission, but they're running the front lines of the home mission. And that's important. Go ahead. Sorry, Patrick.
I was just going to say one thing I want to add on that is, what we're really trying to do is advocate for the capabilities and the power behind the military spouse. Unfortunately, when employers look at a military spouse resume, there's a lot of breaks of employment. And it might list things: volunteer time with the Family Readiness Center or something else. And that's really hard for private employers to read that resume and understand the value of that. So that's really our campaign, as well as is to make sure that we're working with legislators and in the private marketplace, so people understand the power and the capabilities behind the military spouse, because we've had nothing but success with the military spouses who we've hired.
You're right. I think that is a very important part, because they also are well-educated, smart, disciplined. They have all the skill sets. But you're right. There are some employers that sometimes might be hesitant to hire a military spouse because they think that person will get transferred in 2 or 3 years. But, I think it's about what that person can contribute in the time that they're within that corporation or company and advance on forward. An example here at the Chamber is Aubrey Herman, who heads up our events. Her husband, Kyle, serves out at Luke Air Force Base, and they transitioned here from Alaska about a little over a year ago or so now. And we're delighted to have Aubrey on the team. We know one day they'll move onward. We're hoping that they'll stay long, and I know a lot of companies do, but we'll be better off for having Aubrey on our team. And I think any other employer should also consider that. So that leads into something. You all have been named a top employer for how many times now? I guess it's one of those things that when I retire or get out of being a chamber guy, maybe I should head over to USAA, because I hear such great things about, it's one thing to deliver on the services and the things that you need to do, but it's also taking care of the people. And that's your number one expense as a corporation, is that human capital, which is your people. And so you don't get number one and high ranking in that for no reason at all. So what's the secret there?
I think the secret is understanding that, yes, our employees are likely one of our largest expenses, but they are who makes USAA USAA. It's when you pick up the phone and you have that amazing service that our members have come to know as USAA. They're the ones executing it. So we know that our member experience can be no greater than our employee experience. So we want our employees to have not just all the tools and resources, but that they have, healthy mind, body, that everything's going good at home. So that does take a robust set of employer benefits. We're extremely happy to continue to be, leading the edge with a lot of our employer benefits. And what we've done with the work at home opportunities is also something that's added to that for 2020. So the recent recognition we got was Arizona top employer by Forbes magazine. So super excited by that. We're gonna put that one on our website for a while. I think, during a year where so much is happening, to still receive that type of recognition, I think it speaks a lot to our organization, and it speaks a lot to the people who are serving on the phone, talking to our members every day.
Well, and the times that I've been out to your campus, and like I said, it's like a city in its own. The fact that you have services there for the folks that work there. But one of the things I thought was pretty cool is I've been out there several times when you have had the food trucks out there. This is pre-COVID, of course.
Yeah.
And I would, everyone kind of makes a mad dash out, and it's it feels good. It's a really good feeling. So you all should be very proud of that, and honk that horn and keep on the gas pedal as long as you can. One thing going back to the spouses is we partner with our mayor on our Mayor's Big Dog Run, and that just happened this past year, just before COVID. So we were very fortunate to get that event in, because that puts a lot of money into scholarships here locally. Over $40,000 went to scholarships. And in the off year, when we don't have that, we do a military appreciation breakfast, and we launched it 2 years ago, the first one. But this year, as we're revamping that slightly, we don't know what it's going to look like come 2021, whether it be online or in person. Again, too soon to tell. But the one thing that we have incorporated, and it's thanks to you all at USAA, is recognizing the spouses. And so making that one of the priorities of that military appreciation breakfast. And not that we didn't know that already, but really because you all are so profound here in the area. We have a lot of employees that work with you all here in Glendale. We want to make sure that we recognize them. So that breakfast, which was ordinarily breakfast, we don't know what it's going to look like in 2021, but I know Aubrey has the subcommittee meeting, and they'll be looking for your input as well with that. So
that's exciting news. That's exciting news, Robert.
I got to tell you, we probably could talk all day long about everything that's going on in USAA. But is there anything that I have left out that you want to share with anyone who might not really understand the impact? Because really, you're more than just an employer. You're an economic driver in our region with the number of people that you employ. That payroll that comes into our local economy is creating other jobs and a byproduct within. But is there anything that I didn't ask you about that I should have, or that you want to throw out there for everyone?
Just to talk a little bit about the presence, Robert, this year was obviously a huge year of need for our local community. So we're very proud that, by the end of this year, we'll have put locally here just in the Phoenix market about $1.8 million to support the local community. And that's through nonprofits and organizations that we've been working with. And that's because we understand the power of community. Right. And that's what the military does well, is they take care of their people. And, you move into a new military installation or base and you're welcomed in, and people look out for one another, especially, the military spouse or those military families. So we want to bring that same level of care and compassion to our local communities, even to those who maybe didn't serve in the military. But we understand that the power of us and what we can do really depends on the power of the health of the community as well. So that's something we're continually proud of. And, what I'd say is if anyone's watching this and like you, they are coming up on retirement from their first job, USAAjobs.com. We've got a growing list of jobs that we're going to be hiring from out here. And we're just thrilled to continue to have a presence here in the Phoenix market and being partners with you and your team, Robert.
No, well, we thank you. And that investment within the local community really is profound and makes significant impact. Everyone has suffered. It doesn't matter whether you're a large corporation or a small, one-person entrepreneur. Everyone has been impacted, certainly this year. And the value that the nonprofits and organizations, that give back into the community and help, we couldn't do it without all those organizations. So I know, we're fortunate to have a partnership with you at the Glendale Chamber. We thank you for that. You're helping us keep our businesses engaged and connected and informed in everything that we can do to keep them sustainable throughout this pandemic. So we're not quite out of the woods yet, but we know that when we get there, there'll be some celebrations to be had. So we thank you very much. Pat, you gave the website for jobs, but anybody can find you at USAA.com. And of course, on social media, because you all are very, very active on social media, which is wonderful to see. You're always touting and promoting all the great things. But so Patrick, I can't thank you enough for your partnership here at the Glendale Chamber. And honestly, it's truly an honor to be able to say that USAA is a partner to us. It makes a difference. You all make a difference. I know you're one of many. You've got Greg over there at the helm doing an amazing job, and many others around you. But we're better as a community here in the Phoenix metro area because of folks just like you. So on behalf of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce, I can't thank you enough for your time today. And we hope to see you very, very soon.
The sooner the better, Robert. This has been a great experience, and thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thanks, Patrick. Well, with that, everyone at home, we hope that you've gotten a little peek behind the curtain of what's going on out at USAA. We look forward to seeing you on our next segment of Good Morning Glendale. With that, have a great day.